Welcome back to Dragon Age Inquisition. I am JDZ Gaming Empire. It is time to go find Cassandra in the Chantry. I believe that's our only mission. Oh, what's this? Know thy enemy. Some items recovered in battle may later be worth studying. Keep items for later. Okay. The breach. This is the threat remains. The breach is calm, but the trouble is only beginning. Find Cassandra in the Chantry. Alright, I guess we're going to go find Cassandra in the Chantry. And I have yet to figure out how to zoom using the controller. I don't know if we can't do that. And if somebody knows when you're playing on PC and using the controller, if how to zoom in and out with your character, that would be most helpful. And you may not even be able to do it. And if we can't do it, I certainly hope they fix that situation when Dreadwolf is released. Ooh, look at all the people out here standing. Of course, I had to check for loot. And there's all kinds of loots. I will wait to look at that. More loots? More loots? No?
That's her.
Oh, I hear you talking. I hear you talking. That's her. What's in here? Nothing. So we'll loot along the way to going to see Cassandra. Great sword, nice. Oh, can't go that way. Oh, there's something. Oh, that's just, we already looked at the special shipments. Okay. All I did was click on it. It wouldn't open because we've already opened it.
Why did Lady Cassandra have her in chains? I thought Seekers knew everything.
It's complicated. We were all frightened after the explosion at the Conclave.
It isn't complicated. Andraste herself blessed her. May her be with you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, let's go find Cassandra. Oh, there's something here to read. Andraste's Mabari. You know Andraste's old Mabari. He didn't show up in the chant. And if you ask those holy sisters, well, they'll say Andraste can't have had some big old smelly war dog. But Alfarelda knows it right. Our sweet lady needed someone who would warm her feet at night. And there's Andraste's Mabari by the holy prophet's side. In the fight against Teventer, that dog would never hide. They say the Maker sent him special, always loyal without pride, so he could be the sworn companion of the Maker's holy bride. Oh, that dog he guards Andraste without arrogance or fear, only asking of his mistress just a scratch behind the ears. But then old Mothrath gets to plotting, tries to lure that dog away, but even as they trap the prophet, her Mabari never strays. And there's Andraste's Mabari by the holy prophet's side. In the fight against Teventer, that dog would never hide. They say the Maker sent him special, always loyal without pride, so he could be the sworn companion of the Maker's holy bride. Oh, they thought the wounds had killed him, but then he limped out toward the fire, and Hassarian he shed a tear as that dog laid on the pier. And there's Andraste's Mabari by the holy prophet's side. In the fight against Teventer, that dog would never hide. They say the Maker sent him special, always loyal without pride, so he could be the sworn companion of the Maker's holy bride. Yes, that Mabari's the companion of the Maker's holy bride. A popular, if historically unlikely, Ferelden Tavern song. That was good. I liked it. I liked it.
She stopped the breach from getting any bigger.
I heard she was supposed to
Can I
close it.
collect this loot, please? Thank you. Can I go in here? Thank you. Oh, something else to read. Patient observations, day 3. Less thrashing, some response to stimulus. Vitals seem solid. 2 attempts so far by locals to break into the chantry to kill my patient. What? Really? I'm the patient, I believe. All this work to save her life, and will they just execute her? Will inform Lady Cassandra. I expect her to wait before the morn. Yeah, they're talking about me. Why are they trying to kill me? I helped.
Still lots of rifts left all over. Little cracks in the sky.
She can seal those, though. The Herald of Andraste.
Herald of Andraste. That's me.
Good luck sealing those rifts.
Thank you. I'm probably going to get the response, you need to speak to Lady Cassandra.
Not taking orders right now. Got a problem with it? Bring it up with Cassandra.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's go speak with her.
Chancellor Roderick says that the Chantry wants nothing to do with us.
That isn't Chancellor Roderick's decision, sister.
I know that's right. Don't listen to that jackass. Ooh, lots.
Most of the clerics died at the conclave. Who will lead us?
Yeah, they did.
Go in peace, Herald of Andraste.
The Fade. The study of the Fade is as old as humankind. For so long as men have dreamed, we have walked its twisting paths, sometimes catching a glimpse of the city at its heart, always as close as our own thoughts, but impossibly separated from our world. The Tevinter Imperium once spent vast fortunes of gold, lyrium, and human slaves in an effort to map the terrain of the Fade, an ultimately futile endeavor. Although portions of it belong to powerful spirits, all of the Fade is in constant flux. The Imperium succeeded in finding the disparate and ever-shifting realms of a dozen demon lords, as well as cataloging a few hundred types of spirits before they were forced to abandon the project. The relationship of dreamers to the Fade is complex. Even when entering the Fade through the use of lyrium, mortals are not able to control or affect it. Spirits who dwell there, however, can, and as the Chantry teaches us, the great flaw of the spirits is that they have neither imagination nor ambition. They create what they see through their sleeping visitors, building elaborate copies of our cities, people, and events, which, like the reflections in a mirror, ultimately lack context or life of their own. Even the most powerful demons merely plagiarize the worst thoughts and fears of mortals, and build their realms with no other ambition than to taste life. From Tranquility in the Role of the Fade in Human Culture by First Enchanter Josephus.
Have you gone completely mad? She should be taken to Val Royo immediately.
And there that
To be
jackass
tried
is.
by whomever becomes divine.
I do not believe she is guilty.
The elf failed, Seeker. The breach is still in the sky. For all you know, she intended it this way.
I do not believe that.
That is not for you to decide. Your duty is to serve the Chantry.
My duty is to serve the principles on which the Chantry was founded, Chancellor, as is yours.
She's defending us. I like it. A chant for the departed. The light shall lead her safely through the paths of this world and into the next. For she who trusts in the Maker, fire is her water. As the moth sees light and goes toward flame, she should see fire and go towards light. The veil holds no uncertainty for her, and she will know no fear of death. For the Maker, shall be her beacon and her shield, her foundation and her sword. Transfigurations 10:1, often sung by mourners as they light candles. Okay, I'm not going to open any doors yet. We'll save that for after we go visit Cassandra. So there's several doors to open there. Let's go see Cassandra.
Chain her! I want her prepared for travel to the capital for trial.
Disregard that and leave us.
You walk a dangerous line, Seeker.
The breach is stable, but it is still a threat. I will not ignore it.
So I'm still a suspect, even after what we just did?
You absolutely are.
No, she is not.
Ha!
Someone was behind the explosion at the Conclave. Someone most holy did not expect. Perhaps they died with the others, or have allies who yet live.
I am a suspect?
You, and many others.
But not the prisoner.
I heard the voices in the temple. The Divine called to her for help.
So her survival, that thing on her hand, all a coincidence.
Providence. The Maker sent her to us in our darkest hour.
So you've changed your mind about me?
I was wrong. Perhaps I still am. I will not, however, pretend you were not exactly what we needed when we needed it.
The breach remains, and your mark is still our only hope of closing it.
This is not for you to decide.
You know what this is, Chancellor? A writ from the Divine, granting us the authority to act. As of this moment, I declare the Inquisition reborn. We will close the breach, we will find those responsible, and we will restore order with or without your approval.
You got told. Isn't that the same book that Liliana and Cassandra had in Dragon Age 2?
This is the Divine's directive. Rebuild the Inquisition of old. Find those who will stand against the chaos. We aren't ready. We have no leader, no numbers. And now, no Chantry support.
But we have no choice. We must act now, with you at our side.
What is the Inquisition of old, exactly?
It preceded the Chantry. People who banded together to restore order in a world gone mad.
After, they laid down their banner and formed the Templar Order, but the Templars have lost their way. We need those who can do what must be done, united under a single banner once more.
But aren't you still part of the Chantry?
Is that what you see?
The Chantry will take time to find a new Divine. And then it will wait for her direction.
But we cannot wait. So many Grand Clerics died at the Conclave. No, we are on our own. Perhaps forever.
You're trying to start a holy war.
We are already at war. You are already involved. Its mark is upon you. As to whether the war is holy, that depends on what we discover.
If you're truly trying to restore order,
That is the plan.
Help us fix this before it's too late.
Okay. Josephine, Cullen, Isabella. Not Isabella. Liliana and Cassandra. I don't even remember if we see Isabella in this. Probably not. Don't remember. So the messengers. Colin, that is not straight. It's crooked. That would drive me crazy. Go on somewhere, Chancellor. Hey, I got a different outfit on. Oh, that was cool. And so it begins. The prologue is done. Influence is up. Okay, we'll have to learn about that. The threat remains. Report to Haven's Chantry. Ooh, there's lots to see and do now. Okay, that's the main story quest. Meniv. War Room. Haven's best and brightest. Even in these trying times, good help is not so hard to find. Explore Haven and meet some of the Inquisition's crafting masters. Speak with the apothecary. Varric. Solus. The blacksmith. Merchant. Okay, speak with the smith. So we are in Haven. Let's go in here and see what this quest is about. And then we'll come outside and look around and collect a quest from it.
Does it trouble you?
If it wasn't enough to close the breach, what use is it?
You did everything we asked of you.
And it still didn't work.
What's important is that your mark is now stable, as is the breach. You've given us time, and Solas believes a second attempt might succeed, provided the mark has more power. The same level of power used to open the breach in the first place. That is not easy to come by.
Clearly, you have something in mind.
We do. You've met Commander Cullen, leader of the Inquisition's forces.
Hi,
It
Colin.
was only for a moment on the field. I'm pleased you survived.
This is Lady Josephine Montelier, our ambassador and chief diplomat.
Anderan Atishan.
Hi,
You
Josephine.
speak Elven.
You've just heard the entirety of it, I'm afraid.
And of course, you know Sister Liliana.
My position here involves a degree of...
She is our spy master.
Yes, tactfully put, Cassandra.
Hi, Liliana.
Pleased to meet you all.
I mentioned that your mark needs more power to close the breach for good.
Which means we must approach the rebel mages for help.
And I still disagree. The Templars could serve just as well.
We need power, Commander. Enough magic poured into that mark.
Might destroy us all. Templars could suppress the breach, weaken it, so...
Pure speculation.
I was a Templar. I know what they're capable of.
Unfortunately, neither group will even speak to us yet. The Chantry has denounced the Inquisition, and you specifically.
They still think I'm guilty.
That is not the entirety of it any longer. Some are calling you, a Dalish elf, the Herald of Andraste. That frightens the Chantry. The remaining clerics have declared it blasphemy, and we, heretics, for harboring you.
Chancellor Roderick's doing, no doubt.
It limits our options. Approaching the mages or Templars for help is currently out of the question.
Just how am I the Herald of Andraste?
People saw what you did at the temple, how you stopped the breach from growing. They have also heard about the woman seen in the rift when we first found you. They believe that was Andraste.
Even if we tried to stop that view from spreading...
Which we have not.
The point is, everyone is talking about you.
It's quite the title, isn't it? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it's a little unnerving.
It's a little unsettling.
I'm sure the Chantry would agree.
People are desperate for a sign of hope. For some, you're that sign.
And to others, a symbol of everything that's gone wrong.
They aren't more concerned about the breach, the real threat.
They do know it's a threat. They just don't think we can stop it.
The Chantry is telling everyone you'll make it worse.
There is something you can do. A Chantry cleric by the name of Mother Giselle has asked to speak to you. She is not far and knows those involved far better than I. Her assistance could be invaluable.
Why would someone from the Chantry help a declared heretic?
I understand she's a reasonable sort. Perhaps she does not agree with her sisters. You will find Mother Giselle tending to the wounded in the hinterlands near Redcliffe.
Look for other opportunities to expand the Inquisition's influence while you're there.
We need agents to extend our reach beyond this valley, and you're better suited than anyone to recruit them.
In the meantime, let's think of other options. I won't leave this all to the Herald.
Well, thank you very much. Operations. The war table allows you to apply the power of the Inquisition throughout Orlais and Ferelden. Mother Giselle is in the hinterlands, which can be found on the Ferelden side of the table. Conquered by Orlais, torn by civil war, ravaged by the Fifth Blight, Ferelden is no stranger to hardship. With
Has
the veil...
Cassandra spoken to you about my new recruits?
They are not your recruits, Commander. They're ours.
With the veil weakened, the land is more turbulent than ever. Let's see what it says about Orlais. Known for its culture of extravagant nobility, yet also has the birthplace of the Chantry, Orlais is the most powerful human nation in Thedas. War table. The Inquisition can unlock new areas for you to explore through scouting operations. Perform the scouting operation for the hinterlands on the Ferelden side of the war table now. Is this it? Oh, here. Scout the hinterlands. It costs 1 in power, and we have 1 power on the bottom right there. Scout the hinterlands. Mother Giselle was last seen in the hinterlands outside Redcliffe, tending refugees who fled the fighting between renegade Templars and apostate mages. The latest reports suggest that the vicious struggle between the two groups has spread to the hinterlands, catching the refugees and Mother Giselle in the middle. It is vital to protect her and, if possible, restore order to the area. So then it gives us who we should use or who we can use to do the scouting. So this person, who is that? This must be Josephine. Because I believe it's Josephine, Colin, and Liliana that does the scouting. So they're only giving us the one, and it looks like Liliana. Liliana, I believe, is the secrets, and Colin are the forces. Secrets. If Giselle dies, any hope of the Chantry's support dies with her. My scouts will slip past the fighting, find her, and protect her with their lives. Dang! Hey! I know her. She's pretty good with that bow and arrow. That looks like the hinterlands. Yes, it is. Inquisition scouting report. Scout the hinterlands. We avoided the fighting as best we could. It's every bit as bad as we feared. The apostates are mad, attacking anything that moves, and it appears that the Templars here aren't following anyone's orders any longer. We located Mother Giselle and are trying to protect her, but she refuses to lead the refugees until we've ensured their safety. That will be hard to do without troops to push the apostates and the Templars out of the area. Commander Colin asked me to make inquiries of Master Dennett, a retired horse master of Redcliffe, who lives in the area. We tried to contact him about obtaining better horses for the Inquisition, but we've been unable to get through the fighting. Lead Scout Harding. Yes, we will accept that request. Would you like to gather your party and venture to the hinterlands now? Nope, not yet. Thank you. Operations. You now have access to missions. Mission operations take time and bring the Inquisition resources and rewards. Only one mission per advisor can be active at a time. Some missions have a preferred type, which results in less time required when undertaken by the associated advisor. Missions may also provide different rewards depending on which advisor completes them. And of course, I have the mod that allows us to not have to wait for these missions. It's called War Table No Waiting. All right, we are done. Let's back out of this. We have our orders. We have to go to the hinterlands. Oh my. World travel. When not in a dungeon, you can use the quest map to travel to distant locations. Press that button and select the quest map in the hero menu. Press Y from the quest map to access the world map and travel to the unlocked areas. Let's look at some of the codex real quick, because I don't want to get too far behind on it. Cullen, whatever you have heard of Kirkwall's rebellion, the truth is far worse. I would spare you that. What remains of Kirkwall's Templars have been under my command for the past few years. We have done what we could to assist with the city's recovery, to restore some semblance of order, but my time here is done. Seeker Pentecost has approached me. She wishes to stop the war between mages and Templars. She has been recruiting men and women to the cause and wishes me to oversee the group's military concerns. If the conclave goes well, then we will not be needed. If not, we stand ready. I have decided to take Seeker Pentecost's offer. The circles have fallen. I can give no more to the Templar Order, nor it to me. The Maker has shown me a new path. I must take it. Excerpt from letter sent to Southreach by Commander Colin. High Chancellor Roderick. There are some who claim men have no place in the Chantry, beyond the lowest rank of scholarly brothers and those who take their place amongst the Templars. It is not true. This is an organization spanning 7 nations, from the smallest village, Chantry, to the Grand Cathedral in Val Royeaux. It takes more than sermons to keep it alive. There is an invisible army at work ensuring meals are delivered, repairs are made, and faithful attended to, and much of it done by the Chantry brothers like myself. The position of High Chancellor places a man beside the most holy. I control who is permitted audience, handle her correspondence, deliver her word to Thetis, and serve as her advisor on matters which may be mundane but cannot be disregarded. If I have influence, let it be said it is something I use sparingly, if at all. This is a task to which I devote myself with solemnity. I and my fellows bear a burden so that others are free to guide the spirits of Thetis unencumbered. Excerpt from a letter by High Chancellor Roderick S. 938. Dragon. Seriously, he says he uses his influence sparingly. I don't know if I believe that. Oh, finally, Liliana. She has many names. Most know her as Sister Liliana or the Nightingale. Some refuse to speak her name at all, referring to her only as the left hand of the divine, the shadow behind the sunburst throne. The spy master Marjolaine trained Liliana from a young age. For years, Liliana was Marjolaine's instrument in the great game of Orlais. While Liliana was devoted to Marjolaine, the reverse was not true. Marjolaine betrayed Liliana and almost succeeded in killing her. Liliana survived the betrayal thanks to revered Mother Dorothea. Following this betrayal, Liliana spent several years in a cloister in Ferelden, hiding from her past. Inspired by revered Mother Dorothea, Liliana dedicated herself to her faith, discovering peace in a simple life of devotion. But when the fifth blight began, she received what she believed a vision from the Maker. This prompted her to leave her sanctuary, taking up arms against the Darkspawn. Several years after the defeat of the Archdemon, Liliana received a summons from Dorothea, now divine Justinia V. She returned to Orlais to become an agent of the Sunburst Throne. Justinia perished in the explosion that destroyed the divine conclave, and Liliana became a founding member and spy master of the new Inquisition. Josephine Montelier. I'm having a hard time pronouncing. Is that a French word? Seeker Cassandra. Josephine Montelier is a noble from the nation of Antiba. She was educated in Bioware, where she built connections among the court. Once she finished her schooling at a surprisingly young age, Lady Montelier became the official diplomat between King Fulgino of Antiba to Empress Celine of Orlais. The appointment suits her. She is well-traveled, familiar with many forms of etiquette, and by all accounts, a skilled negotiator. If that endorsement does not suffice, Josephine is a personal friend. I have faith in her. We require someone both influential and trustworthy to be an ambassador for the Inquisition. You cannot tell me you would prefer to take the job yourself. Sister Liliana. Solus. Cassandra, I understand our first order of business must be to investigate this bizarre breach in the sky and protect people from the demons descending. While my search continues, I wish to draw your attention to a new arrival at our camp. An elven apostate calling himself Solus. Solus entered the camp voluntarily, surrendering his staff to Chantry forces without protest. He is not Dalish and says that he has never been part of the Circle, claiming instead to have studied magic peacefully on his own, particularly magic tied to the Fade. While I suspect you'll be reluctant to accept the help of an apostate, Solus did come to us freely. Witnesses saw him in a nearby village at the time of the blast, so he was likely not responsible for what happened at the conclave. However, he has described the effects of the breach in enough detail to convince me that he knows more about the Fade than anyone else. Solus has requested permission to study the lone survivor in one of the smaller rifts in hopes of finding a way to seal the breach. He has correctly guessed that it is growing and believes it will destroy the entire world unless we find a way to stop it. Unless you object, I will allow him his studies, under proper observation, of course. Liliana. Okay. Crafting materials, we're just going to skip through that. We already know what elf root is used for. It's used to create healing potions. Archers, okay, I'm not going to read that. I don't think it's significant enough lore to warrant reading. Pride demon, we are going to read about it. The most powerful demons yet encountered are the pride demons, perhaps because they, among all their kind, most resemble men, as clever and manipulative as the desire demon, with a penchant for cruel irony that is almost human. While the demons of desire largely engage in the bribery of mortals, pride will use mortals' own best nature against them. Clever men outwit themselves, strong men crush themselves, humble men forget themselves, jealous men fear themselves. They turn corruption and ruin into an art. From Beyond the Veil, Spirits and Demons by Enchanter Mordramel. Interesting. Wraith, okay. Like wisps, wraiths are sometimes thought to be the remains of spirits or demons that have been destroyed. They cannot shape the fade around themselves, nor are they capable of mimicking forms they see in the minds of dreamers, as many weaker spirits do. Instead, they are the scavengers of the fade, dwelling in the shadows of stronger beings, feeding on scraps of thought and emotion. From Beyond the Veil, Spirits and Demons by Enchanter Mordramel. I guess he's going to be the one to write all the codex for the creatures. Rebel mages. Whereas the circle was established not merely to protect the world from mages, but also to allow mages to practice their art safely without fear, and whereas under Lord Seeker Lambert's command, the Templars sworn to protect all people, including mages, from the harmful effects of magic, have instead persecuted mages with such biased judgment as to worsen the problems they were meant to mitigate. And whereas the right of tranquility, intended as a tool of last resort to stop uncontrolled mages from hurting themselves or others, has instead been used for punitive and political purposes to silence dissent and inhibit civilized discourse. And whereas Andraste herself intended the relationship between mage and Templar to be one of practitioner and protector, not prisoner and jailer, and this contract has been broken, leaving mages in fear for their lives from those sworn to protect them. Now, therefore, the Circle of Magi declares the following: We, the mages of Ferelden and Orlais, do hereby dissolve the circles and renounce our sworn submission to the Order of the Templars, effective immediately. We reiterate Andraste's assertion that magic was made to serve man, not rule over him, and state unequivocally that we will use our abilities only to defend ourselves from those who would see us relinquish our lives and freedoms under the presumption of guilt for crimes we have not committed. We condemn those practitioners of magic who, through illness of mind or understandable but misguided anger at those who oppress them, would use their maker-given powers to threaten innocent lives. And we pledge to aid any legitimate and impartial government in bringing these lawless apostates to justice. We look earnestly to a future of cooperation between all peoples of Thedas, free from persecution and prejudice, and hope to build a better world alongside all who approach us with friendship instead of fear. Yours in service to Andraste and the Maker, the Free Mages of Thedas. A leaflet distributed in towns and villages across Orlais and Ferelden. They said, you're not going to keep us as prisoners. The Templar Order traditional role. Often portrayed as stoic and grim, the Order of Templars was created by the martial arm of the Chantry. Armed with the ability to dispel and resist magic, in addition to their formidable combat talents, Templars are uniquely qualified to act as both a foil for apostates, mages who refuse to submit to the authority of the Circle, and a first line of defense against the dark powers of blood mages and abominations. While mages often resent the Templars as symbols of the Chantry's control over magic, the people of Thedas see them as saviors and holy warriors. Champions of all that is good, armed with piety enough to protect the world from the ravages of foul magic. In reality, the Chantry's militant arm looks first for skilled warriors with unshakable faith in the Maker, with a flawless moral center as a secondary concern. Templars must carry out their duty with an emotional distance, and the Order of Templars prefers soldiers with religious fervor and absolute loyalty over paragons of virtue who might question orders when it comes time to make difficult choices. The Templars' power derives from the substance lyrium, a mineral believed to be the raw element of creation. While mages use lyrium in their arcane spells and rituals, Templars ingest the primordial mineral to enhance their abilities to resist and dispel magic. Lyrium use is regulated by the Chantry, but some Templars suffer from lyrium addiction, the effects of which include paranoia, obsession, and dementia. Templars knowingly submit themselves to this treatment in the service of the Order and the Maker. It is this sense of ruthless piety that most frightens mages when they draw the Templars' attention. When the Templars are sent to eliminate a possible blood mage, there is no reasoning with them. And if the Templars are prepared, the mage's magic is all but useless. Driven by their faith, the Templars are one of the most feared and respected forces in Thedas. From patterns within formed by Helden, first enchanter of Starkhaven, 880 blessed. The Templar Order and of an accord. Most holy, the Seekers are well aware of the part you played in the rebellion. You call me to the Grand Cathedral in the middle of the night on urgent business, only to speak of trivial matters? And then, when I return to the White Spire, I discover chaos and one of your agents in the midst of the apostates. Did you think I would not notice? Did you believe yourself above repercussions for such acts? It was a dark day when the Chantry placed such an incapable woman upon the Sunburst throne. I will not stand idle and watch you destroy what ages of tradition and righteousness have built. In the 20th year of the Divine Age, the Navaran Accord was signed. The Seekers of Truth lowered our banner and agreed to serve as the Chantry's right hand, and together we created the Circle of Magi. With the circle no more, I hereby declare the accord null and void. Neither Seekers of Truth nor the Templar Order recognize Chantry authority, and instead we will perform the Maker's work as it was meant to be done, as we see fit. Signed this day on the 40th year of the Dragon Age, Lord Seeker Lambert von Reeves. Letter sent to Divine Justinia from the former Land Seeker. Wow, the Templars just went rogue, man. All right, there's 2 new items in here, it looks like. I already read that, so 1 new item. The First Inquisition. The birth of the Chantry took place more than 9 ages ago. In the midst of time have obscured once well-known facts. It is commonly believed the Chantry alone created the Templars and the Circle of Magi. Few recall there was ever an Inquisition. Those who do believe it predated the Chantry, hunting cultists and mages in a reign of terror ending only upon its transformation into the Templar Order. This is not quite the turn. One must keep in mind the state of Thedas prior to the Chantry's creation, world where the only source of order, the Deventer Imperium, had fallen apart. People blame magic for the death of Andraste, the Blight, the terror they saw every day, and not without reason. Abominations and demons rampaged the countryside. No one was safe. Disparate groups of men and women initially formed the Seekers of Truth, determined to reestablish order because no one else would do what was necessary. The truth they sought, the question they tried to answer, was how to restore sanity in a world gone mad. Was theirs a reign of terror? Perhaps. Evidence suggests they were as vigilant in their protection of mages as they were of regular people. When they convened in an ad hoc trial to determine the guilty party. This even application of justice led to their poor reputation. The Seekers came down against every group at one time or another. Their Inquisition gained notoriety for being on no one's side but their own. They considered themselves good people, however, followers of the Maker's true commandments. This was never more evident than when they laid down their banner in support of the fledgling Chantry. They believed with all their heart that the Templar Order was the answer a desperate Thedas needed in a terrible time. Ultimately, the Inquisition was composed of independent idealists, not Chantry zealots. That is the truth. From In Pursuit of Knowledge, The Travels of a Chantry Scholar by Brother Genetivi. Brother Genetivi is back with his history lessons. Okay, we should probably read about red lyrium. It's pretty important. To answer your question, my lord, yes, I have indeed heard of this red lyrium of which you speak. A single piece of it surfaced on the eastern city of Kirkwall, and its influence alone was nearly enough to cause the city's destruction. As near as we can determine, it is regular lyrium that has been somehow corrupted. Those who have touched red lyrium, or even come near it, report that it sings to them, like whispers in the mind that slowly drive them mad. We do not know, however, that we might stem from extended contact with red lyrium. Madness, surely, but would there be a physical corruption as well? What would happen if a mage or a Templar used red lyrium as they use regular lyrium? Far more disturbing is the fact that lyrium could be corrupted at all. Treat any red lyrium you encounter as if it were poison. Do not go near it, do not attempt to destroy it, and most importantly, do not attempt to use it. From a partially burned letter by an unknown writer, affixed with the Grey Warden seal. Who could that be from? Alistair? Maybe? He was a Grey Warden, though he's the king now. But we found out about red lyrium in Dragon Age 2. Places. Haven. I would like to speak of you of Haven, the village in the Frostbacks, close to the Temple of Sacred Ashes. We are all aware of its past. It was home to the disciples of Andraste, as they called themselves. Descended from the people who built the temple itself, they had strayed over years of isolation from their own once noble roots to become dragon worshippers. After the hero of Ferelden discovered the Temple of Sacred Ashes, which the disciples guarded jealously, what remained of the cult moved on, and Haven was abandoned to the ice and snow. I passed through Haven on my pilgrimage to see the Temple of Sacred Ashes. There was a storm, and I took shelter in the hall of Haven's chantry. Though they were dusty from neglect, the walls of that lonely place were strong and shielded me from the biting winds. Peace came upon me, and my eyes were opened to Haven's incredible beauty. It could not be overcome by the pain and the horror of the past. It could not be masked by decay and disuse. It would not be forgotten. Haven is precious to Orlais, to the Chantry, and to the Sunburst throne for its historical and religious significance. It is my will that Haven be restored, rededicated to the service of Andraste, and preserved for the ages. Let it be a sanctuary for the pilgrims who seek out the Temple of Sacred Ashes. May they rest here beneath the cold, bright skies. May the glory of the Maker be revealed to them as they gaze upon the great peaks that are the work of his hand. Now and forevermore, let this be a haven for the faithful. From a speech by Divine Justinia V in 935 Dragon. Okay, so she's like, no, we're not going to disregard Haven. Temple of Sacred Ashes rediscovered. According to legend, the sacred ashes of Andraste were carried out of the Imperium by Havard, disciple of Our Lady. Wounded by Tevinter soldiers when he tried to stop Andraste's capture, Havard was too late in coming to Minthrothos to stop the execution. All he found was her ashes, left out in the elements. As soon as Havard touched them, Andraste appeared in a vision. Rise, she said, Aegis of the Faith, the Maker shall never forget you so long as I remember. The Aegis of the Faith, so named by our prophet herself, stood at her word and found his wounds healed and his spirit renewed. He gathered the ashes of Andraste and returned to the lands of Alamari tribes, which are now Ferelden. It said that Andraste's song led him to a holy site where Havard and his followers built a temple to house her remains. There the legend ends. For centuries, men searched for the Temple of Sacred Ashes, finding only rumors and tall tales. Chantry scholars concluded that there was no temple. There were no sacred ashes. It was all a myth, allegory intended to inspire and feed the fire of faith. Then the hero of Ferelden came, seeking to cure a dying Arl with the miraculous powers of the ashes. The hero, with the help of renowned scholar, Brother Ferdinand Genitivi, traced the steps of the ancients and came to a remote ruin high in the Frostback Mountains. There the urn of sacred ashes waited, as the legend said it would. After the triumph of the righteous over the fifth blight, the temple's discovery was shared with the world. Much to our dismay, however, by the time our soldiers arrived at the temple, the urn had disappeared. To this day, we do not know who took them or why. All that is certain is that it was the Maker's will. The hero of Ferelden did not share the discovery with the world, and Brother Genitivi, whose research made it possible, had disappeared without a trace. Truth, however, will always out, and rumors circulated about the cause of Arl Eamon Gurin's miraculous recovery. Agents of the Chantry investigated claims about the Urn of Sacred Ashes and were eventually led, as the hero had been led, to the temple. By the time our soldiers reached it, however, the urn was nowhere to be found. Though the ashes were gone, the temple itself stood, and it has since become a source of hope for the faithful. If the Grand Cathedral is the beating heart of our Chantry, then the Temple of Sacred Ashes is her soul. Here we honor the Chantry's past, even as we forge bravely into our future. From a lecture delivered by Chantry scholar Mother Clothelide at the University of Orlais in 938 Dragon. Cool. Interesting. The Hinterlands. My Lord Arl Tegan. Oh, we remember Tegan. I retired to the Hinterlands for peace and quiet, away from the politics, and because the wide open spaces were perfect to let my horses run. Instead, the war between the mages and the Templars had turned your beautiful hills into a series of burning battlefields. The farmers who live in the Hinterlands are good folk. Many of them left Redcliffe Village because they couldn't bear to be there anymore. Not after the Blight and the Walking Dead left so many bad memories. Now we got apostates running around setting fire to anyone who looks at them sideways, and the Templars looting houses and cutting down those who protest as mage sympathizers. My wife Elena sent out our field hands to stay with her family in the past, but there are a lot of poor people here with nowhere. Let me read that again. It's not past. My wife Elena sent off our field hands to stay with her family in the east, but there are a lot of poor people here with nowhere to go. We get more refugees every day. This village attacked by mad mages, or that farmstead burned to the ground by Templars who can't tell a hoe from a staff. I suppose you're stretched thin, but anything you can do to lessen the burden of these poor folk would be much appreciated. I'll do as I can, and if your men need better mounts, say the word. Best of luck to you, my lord. Remember not to let Duchess puff out her gut when you saddle her. Yours in service, Dennett. A letter from Redcliffe's former horsemaster to Arl Tegan of Redcliffe, undelivered. Resources that we can find in the Hinterlands are elfroot, spindleweed, blood lotus, crystal grace, royal elfroot, deep mushroom, embryum, iron, drakestone, onyx, and obsidian. Okay, good. And let me just mark these tutorials as read. All right, I think we're done with Codex. It's not my intent to read everything, but I just couldn't stop myself because it was so interesting. All right, we have a lot of quests now. Need to travel to the Hinterlands. The Fallow Mire, Lost Souls. Inquisition soldiers are missing in the uncharted marshes of southern Ferelden. Power required, 8. Go to the war table to locate the soldiers. But we need to get 8 power to even do that. Haven's best and brightest, even in these trying times, good help is not so hard to find. Explore Haven and meet some of the Inquisition's crafting masters. Speak with the smith, speak with the quartermaster, speak with the apothecary. Know thy enemy. Some items recovered in battle may later be worth studying. Give Manev an item to research. Okay, and then we have the Storm Coast. The Storm Coast is a sparsely populated stretch of shoreline along the Walking Sea. Ancient dwarven ruins, abandoned since the Divine Age, still line the coast. Their architects long forgotten. Vigilance on the coast. There are reports of a small group of Grey Wardens traveling along the northern coast of Ferelden in an area known as the Storm Coast. We require 4 power to unlock this. All right. And let's be off. Okay, so we need to go in here. Oh, nope, I don't want to go in there because Josephine's in there and I'm not ready to talk with her yet. Summon the war table. Well, maybe I will go talk with Josephine. What could it hurt? The Maker, there was no word for haven or for earth, for sea or sky. All that existed was silence. Then the voice of the Maker rang out, the first word, and his word became all that might be. Dream and idea, hope and fear, endless possibilities. And from it made his firstborn. And he said to them, in my image I forge you. To you I give dominion over all that exists. By your will may all things be done. Then in the center of heaven he called forth a city with towers of gold, streets with music for cobblestones, and banners which flew without wind. There he dwelled, waiting to see the wonders his children would create. Children of the Maker gathered before his golden throne and sang hymns of praise unending. But their songs were the songs of the cobblestones. They shone with the golden light reflected from the Maker's throne. They held forth banners that flew on their own. And the voice of the Maker shook the fade, saying, in my image I have wrought my firstborn. You have been given dominion over all that exists. By your will all things are done, yet you do nothing. The realm I have given you is formless, ever-changing. And he knew he was wrought amiss. So the Maker turned from his firstborn and took from the fade a measure of its living flesh, and placed it apart from the spirits, and spoke to it, saying, here I decree opposition in all things, for earth, sky, for winter, summer, for darkness, light. But my will alone is balanced sundered, and the world given new light. And no longer was it formless, ever-changing, but held fast, immutable, with words for heaven and for earth, sea and sky. At last did the Maker from the living world make men immutable as the substance of the earth, with souls made of dream and idea, hoping and fear, endless possibilities. Then the Maker said, to you, my second-born, I grant this gift. In your heart shall burn an unquenchable flame, all-consuming and never satisfied. From the fade I crafted you, and to the fade shall return, each night in dreams, that you may always remember me. And then the Maker sealed the gates of the golden city, and there he dwelled, waiting to see the wonders his children would create. Canticle of Dice 5:1-8. Man, it almost sounds like some biblical scripture. All right, let's go see Josephine.
The Inquisition cannot remain, Ambassador, if you can't prove it was founded on Justinian's orders.
This is an inopportune time, Marquis. More of the faithful flock here each day. But allow me to introduce you to the brave soul who risked her life to slow the magic of the breach. Mistress Lavelan, this is the Marquis d'Aurelion, one of Divine Justinia's greatest supporters.
And the rightful owner of Haven. House d'Aurelion lent Justinia these lands for pilgrimage. This Inquisition is not a beneficiary of this arrangement.
This is the first I've heard of Haven having an owner outside the Chantry.
My wife, Lady Machin of Denerim, has claimed to Haven by ancient treaty with the monarchs of Ferelden. We were honored to lend its use to Divine Justinia. She was a woman of supreme merit. I will not let an upstart order remain on her holy grounds.
Yeah, we do have bigger problems.
Demons are pouring from the sky, and you're worried about land claims.
Haven is the d'Aurelion's rightful property.
Has Empress Selene officially acknowledged your possession of Haven? I was unaware Her Imperial Majesty had conferred with Ferelden's monarchs on this matter.
The Empress has not yet had the opportunity to do so.
We face a dark time, Your Grace. Divine Justinia would not want her passing to divide us. She would, in fact, trust us to forge new alliances to the benefit of all, no matter how strange they might seem.
I'll think on it, Lady Montilyet. The Inquisition might stay in the meanwhile.
Do the Durelions actually have a claim on this place?
His Grace's position is not so strong as he presents it. Despite their Ferelden relations, the Durelions are our legion. If the Marquis wishes to claim Haven, Empress Selene must negotiate with the Ferelden on his behalf. Her current concerns are a bit larger than minor property disputes.
Right.
His Grace was all bluster then.
Even should he leave, the Marquis will share his thoughts on us upon his return to Val Royeaux. Every guest we receive, and we will receive them, will spread the Inquisition's story. An ambassador should ensure the tale is as complimentary as possible.
Okay. Let's check out her background.
What sort of dealings have you had with nobility?
For some years, I was the royally appointed court ambassador from Antiva to Orlais. The nobility of Thedas is a rather singular sphere. Those I'm not acquainted with, I know through reputation.
May I ask, what brought you to work for the Inquisition?
Sister Leliana approached me. We've been acquainted for quite some time. For better or worse, being the Inquisition's diplomat has become as interesting as she promised.
The Inquisition is lucky to have you as an advocate, Lady Montillier.
Thank you. Let us hope so. Thedas's politics have become agitated as of late. I hope to guide us down smoother paths. But please excuse me. I've much work to do before the day is done.
Okay. Can we do any more talking with her?
Greetings.
Oh, okay, let's see. Ooh, yes, we can.
How do you and Leliana know each other?
We moved through similar circles in Orlais. I believe we actually met in Val Royeaux. Leliana was quite an accomplished player of the game by then.
Ha ha ha.
What exactly do you mean when you say the game?
Forgive me. The game refers to the slow duels of influence among the noble and powerful of Orlais. It's a rather light-hearted name for the matter, but our legions are fond of playful touches.
Tell me how you came to work for the Inquisition again.
I'd been considering leaving my post in Antiva for a new challenge when Leliana recruited me. There's such unrest in Thedas, and the Inquisition seems a promising method to stop it. It's to everyone's benefit if we prevent the Mage-Templar conflict from spreading further.
So was it the prospect of stability that drew you here?
The full impact of the Mage Rebellion has yet to be felt, and that was before the death of the Divine. The violence must be curbed before we see it turn to full-scale war.
I can only imagine the bloodshed if it escalates further.
I'm afraid history holds many examples of what will happen if it does.
What exactly does your job entail?
I meet with ambassadors from various factions and countries and cement alliances with them. We are a young cause. Diplomacy is essential to our credibility.
Then you speak for the Inquisition with these nobles?
I do. Someone must foster goodwill on our behalf, as well as prevent controversy as news of us spreads.
How heavily are our actions scrutinized?
Make no mistake, every noble house, every throne, is waiting to see what the Inquisition does next. Many are willing to pledge support, if offers are made in just the right fashion. I intend to see that they are.
Oh, goodness, we have a lot about her.
Tell me, do you believe I was saved by Andraste at the Temple of Sacred Ashes?
I should much like to believe so, Your Worship. The miracles Andraste performed were so long ago, they're difficult to picture. If it were truly her and the Fate who saved you, well, in any case, many already believe you walk in the Maker's light.
What business are the Montilliers in exactly?
We began as merchants. My ancestors founded the first trade routes to Rivain. We once sent entire fleets across the Waking Sea.
But not anymore.
These days, our vessels are a touch more modest.
What did you do before coming here?
I had the great honor of serving Antiva's crown as ambassador to Orlais. I'm also first in line to become the head of House Montilier, though my siblings attend to our mercantile affairs.
How strong are your past loyalties?
I would never have given up my position if I did not intend to fully commit to the Inquisition. We cannot fall back on borders. Antiva is as threatened as any country by the rebellions. If anything, the alliances I forged there may help our current cause.
Do you think the Inquisition will continue after we seal the breach?
If we prove ourselves by healing the breach, people may turn to us for other things. Protection, counsel, justice. The Inquisition offered these once to those in need.
Wow, we got a lot of information from her.
Let's speak later.
Farewell.
Let's see if she has anything to report.
Greetings.
What do the people make of us?
Despite our fame, we're low on steadfast allies. We must aim for more.
Any thoughts on the people here?
Who did you mean?
Oh. Okay. Oh.
Commander Cullen came to mind.
The commander is an intelligent, cautious man. I'm grateful he's in charge of our standing army. Still, he does sometimes resemble the man with a hammer to whom everything appears as a nail.
All right, let's ask about Cassandra.
I was thinking of Cassandra.
Seeker Pentagast is a princess of the Kingdom of Nevarra, although that barely seems important to her. She was not interested when I asked if we might make use of her royal relations. Still, the Inquisition would not have formed without Cassandra. She's an extraordinarily driven woman.
Oh, I forgot that she was a princess.
What's your impression of Solus?
I suppose I should be wary of an apostate, but our elven mage has conducted himself with the utmost propriety. And he has the most fascinating stories.
Oh, I can't wait to hear about those stories. All right.
I was thinking of Varric.
Oh, I could listen to his tales for hours. He actually let me read a chapter of his next book he's writing. My friends would be sick with envy if they knew. It's excellent, but a bit different from his past works. Only 3 beheadings so far.
Let's speak later.
Wait a minute.
Another time.
No, I'm not done.
Greetings.
What do the people make of us?
Despite our fame, we're
Can
low
we skip
on
past
steadfast
this?
allies. We must aim for more.
Okay.
Any thoughts on the people here?
Who did you mean?
Oh, okay. That's the same thing.
Let's speak later.
Another time.
I'm pretty sure I chose this.
Greetings.
Just double check here.
What do the people make?
Despite our fame, we're low on steadfast
Okay,
allies.
let's ask about our
We
guests.
must aim for more.
Any visiting dignitaries I should watch out for?
Sir Griffith of Denerim, a most distinguished knight of the realm. He's defeated darkspawn, slain demons, chased down abominations. Just don't ask him about it over dinner. He spares no detail.
Okay, now we are done. All right. Well, we're going to leave this episode right here. We have somebody back there. It looks like we might be able to talk to. But thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. And if you've enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to click the like and subscribe buttons. Yes, it unfortunately has we had a lot of codex reading, which took up a lot of time, but you have to read some of that lore to understand, the past, so it will help you with the present. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I will see you on in the next episode. Bye.